Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into something that is honestly just fascinating. It hits right at the core of human connection. We're going to unpack the absolute mystery behind those highly meaningful meetings and tackle a question that's captivated philosophers, spiritual teachers, and psychologists alike. Are certain encounters karmically destined? Okay, let's dive into this. Have you ever met someone and felt an instant, undeniable connection? Like you've literally known them your whole life? Take a quick second to think about that. It's a really profound feeling, right? And it immediately grounds this somewhat abstract topic right into our everyday personal reality. I mean, we've all probably experienced that sudden spark or deep sense of familiarity that just totally defies logical explanation.
Section 1. The mystery of meaningful meetings.
You know, sometimes a total stranger wanders right into your life completely out of nowhere, and boom, they shift your entire perspective forever. The source material highlights how people constantly describe experiences that just seem way too complex to brush off as mere coincidence. Maybe it's a random person you sit next to on a delayed flight who fundamentally changes your career trajectory with one single conversation. Or maybe it's a friend who shows up exactly during a rough patch when you needed them most, or a partner who completely flips your outlook on life. Sometimes people even run into the exact same person repeatedly under just wild circumstances. These sudden arrivals leave such a lasting impact that it naturally makes us stop and wonder, is there a deeper, hidden purpose behind all of this?
Section 2. The spiritual lens, karmic destiny.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how it frames karmic encounters. Across tons of spiritual traditions that teach karma and reincarnation, these encounters are built on the foundational belief that every single action creates a consequence. And here's the kicker. It's not just about the present moment. It's about consequences echoing across the entire journey of the soul. It's like a giant cosmic ripple effect. So why would souls actually meet again? Well, according to these traditions, people cross paths across different lifetimes for very targeted reasons. We're talking about resolving unfinished lessons, balancing out past actions, or just mutually supporting each other's spiritual growth. From this spiritual viewpoint, relationships aren't just random dice rolls. Certain connections arrive exactly when they're needed, bringing these huge opportunities for learning, forgiveness, compassion, or just total transformation.
Section 3. Painful encounters as teachers.
Now, let's take a breath and be real for a second. The reality we all face is that not every significant relationship is easy or fun. Some of these karmic encounters involve intense conflict, devastating heartbreak, or just serious emotional pain. It's incredibly heavy to go through, and feeling let down is completely valid. But many spiritual teachings offer this really powerful reframing tool. They suggest that these incredibly challenging relationships often turn out to be our greatest teachers, rather than just some cosmic punishment meant to make us suffer. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly why they act as teachers. They are incredibly effective at exposing the exact areas inside of us that desperately require healing. I mean, they dig up our hidden fears that we try so hard to ignore. They bring up all those unresolved emotions from the past. They shine a massive spotlight on our unhealthy habits, and they actively challenge our deeply held limiting beliefs. Essentially, the pain points a big red arrow at exactly where the internal work needs to be done. Doing this requires a massive viewpoint shift, though. Instead of leaning into that common instinct to view painful encounters as a punishment, we can make a conscious choice to flip the script. We can start viewing them as opportunities. Opportunities to develop true patience, genuine forgiveness, profound wisdom, and real emotional strength. By just tweaking our mindset, we can literally transform our suffering into highly valuable emotional wisdom. It's a real game changer.
Section 4. Psychology, familiar emotional patterns.
All right, shifting gears. Psychology gives us a totally different but equally fascinating way to look at these magnetic poles. It suggests that we are naturally, and honestly, often unconsciously, drawn toward individuals who reflect familiar emotional patterns. It's all about what we know. Our childhood experiences, our core beliefs, and our subconscious expectations deeply dictate the exact kinds of relationships we naturally tend to create as adults. To put that into perspective, let's just impartially contrast two totally different psychological outcomes. Someone who grew up in a super supportive, loving childhood environment, they're going to naturally seek out and attract healthy connections. But on the flip side, someone who dealt with a lot of emotional instability early on might unknowingly find themselves repeating those exact same turbulent relationship patterns. So from a purely psychological standpoint, what feels like this undeniable cosmic destiny
might actually just be the result of deeply rooted psychological tendencies running the show behind the scenes. Section 5. Destiny meets free will. So, the crucial point is that a lot of people actually believe both of these perspectives can beautifully coexist. Life throws opportunities our way through meaningful encounters, whether that's brought on by spiritual karma or just psychological pattern recognition. But our free will is what determines what actually happens next. Meaning someone might feel 100% destined, but how we respond to that relationship, that is completely on us. Every single conversation we have, every choice we make, and every action we take is actively shaping the future of that connection.
This entire dynamic is perfectly captured in this powerful quote from the source text. Destiny may create the opportunity, but our choices determine its outcome. I absolutely love this because it is so empowering. It puts the spotlight right on personal responsibility. We aren't just passive passengers just along for the ride in our relationships. Our active choices are literally the deciding factor in how these connections ultimately unfold.
Section 6. The ultimate lesson.
Throughout history, we've seen countless stories of these wild, unpredictable, life-changing encounters. Great teachers meeting their most devoted students, lifelong friendships sparking from totally random conversations, successful partnerships emerging from complete chance. And in every single one of these scenarios, different people bring different elements to our journey. Some are there to encourage us to grow. Others challenge us to toughen up and become stronger. Some inspire hope, while others reveal those tender areas where we still need some healing. Every single encounter leaves a fingerprint that shapes our character.
Let's move to and see how this builds to our ultimate conclusion. Every person who steps into your life brings a fresh opportunity to learn, to evolve, and to make wiser choices that actively shape our tomorrow. Whether you think an encounter is guided by the stars and karma, or driven by psychology and coincidence, or maybe a little bit of both, the relationships we build today quite literally become the foundation of the story that shapes our future. Which brings us to the end of this explainer and leaves us with a truly powerful reframed question to chew on. Instead of agonizing over whether every single encounter is somehow predestined, the most meaningful question we can ask ourselves is this: what can we learn from the people who enter our lives? I really encourage you to think about the significant people you've met recently. What are they actually here to teach you? Thank you so much for exploring this fascinating topic with me, and I genuinely hope this helps you find some profound personal growth in your very next encounter.